Hi John, today we're going to talk about Donald Trump.
Yes.
What do you think of the recent allegations on Trump in regards to Russian hacking?
Well, the first thing I'll say about Trump has trumped Mrs. Clinton.
Okay, very good, no harm.
Just to put it
Okay.
use that expression. Now, the business of the hacking that the media have spent an inordinate amount of time talking about it as if it has resulted in the success of President-elect Trump in the US election. It has been roundly condemned as being having no effect whatsoever. The most recent allegations is that Mr. Trump is a sex maniac, and Russia Russia has apparently been implicated in stating this fact, which has been reported in some of the media, particularly CNN in the US. Now, Mr. Trump, President-elect Trump, Donald Trump, has refuted this, saying that he was never next nor near what's been alleged in Russia, and neither was his aide or advisor, another man whose name just escapes me at the minute, but he was reputed to have been over in Russia, and he was never there whatsoever. But a person of the same name was there, and so the media jumped to conclusions. They are so anti-Trump that they cannot accept that their predictions has been thrown, has appeared to be groundless, and Mr. Trump has been a success with the electorate in that country.
Why do you think the people are so against Trump, particularly the media?
Well, you see, the media have an agenda, a secular agenda, that they want to impose their views of society on people irrespective of their religious beliefs, particularly the Catholic and Christian religion and faith. It is quite clear with the policies that the administration in the US over the past 8 years under President Obama has done their best to advance that cause.
Okay.
And they're still trying to undermine President-elect Trump by issuing statements on matters that shouldn't concern them. President Trump was democratically elected, and they have no right to cast aspersions on his character at this point in time, and neither has the media, which they have tried to destroy the man, but they haven't succeeded.
Do you think we could do with an Irish Trump as Taoiseach? For example, someone mentioned the other day to me that Michael O'Leary would be the equivalent, Michael O'Leary of Ryanair.
Well, one point I'll mention is that our present Taoiseach, Fine Gael, Mr. Enda Kenny, has referred to Mr. Trump, President-elect Trump, in a very bad light as being, what's the word, being unsuitable, etc., and that's the mildest part. So we could do with a good, strong leader here who has a vision, like Mr. Trump. At least Mr. Trump has a vision, and he's not contaminated by politics. He's been a successful businessman, so he'll bring the sort of qualities to that office that has been lacking for many years with politicians that have spent their life advocating causes and going against the Christian ethos. President-elect Trump intends to change that secular advance, and we could do with somebody of the same caliber here.
Enda Kenny has in the past called Trump racist and dangerous. Do you think there will be awkward moments when they pass the Shamrock on Paddy's Day?
Well, first of all, as a Taoiseach and as a Prime Minister, Prime Minister of this country, he had no right in a presidential election of one of the strongest countries in the world, and a country with great affinity to this country. He had no right to use such intemperate language about a potential president. As it turns out, he is going to be the next president. in spite of the media bias towards him and the predictions and the insults that he has suffered from various leaders throughout the world, including this country, to their eternal shame. I presume there's not much hope for the Irish people in the US with that sort of an attitude from the Taoiseach come Prime Minister of this country.
There are 50,000 people that are Irish illegals in America. Do you think Trump will go ahead with his plan to deport illegals? And if so, what would you say to him?
Well, President-elect Trump has indicated that, but I don't think he's thinking about Irish. He's thinking about the millions of people from South America who have no command of the English language whatsoever, and whose contribution to the society in the US might be questionable from the point of view of they're not able to communicate in the broader context. That's one reason. Now, the Irish people that are in the US, about 50,000 or perhaps more, that are considered illegal or that are illegal at the present time, is an abomination and an insult to the government of this country and previous governments that have neglected to have this rectified. After all, we had a quota of several thousand people, Irish people, to be able to go to America legally, and eventually, if they so wish, to adopt, to have American citizenship. Now, that was deleted by a Fianna Fáil government in the 60s, to their shame, a short-sighted attempt to sort of keep people in this country when down the years people have emigrated from this country because we've had economic recessions. In my lifetime, about 3 or 4 at least. I've had to change career myself because of recessions in this country. Now, for any Taoiseach of this country to have the situation where there's illegal Irish in America, it's a shame and a disgrace. They should not be illegal, they should be quite legal. They're a great asset to that country. When Irish people go to the US, they go to work. They don't go to live off the social welfare situation in that country because they would not be allowed to enter.
Senator Aodhán O'Riordan recently made quite a dramatic attack on Trump in the Senate. He gave a speech and he called him a fascist.
Well, this is symbolises Aodhán O'Riordan, a former Minister of State in the Fine Gael Labour government that was roundly defeated in 2016, in February 2016. He was a member of that government that wanted to abolish Senadoran, and he's now a member of that Senadoran, which him and his colleagues wish to close down. So he's also a well-known anti-Catholic and anti-Christian bigot, and his views even about Catholic priests breaking the seal of confession is on the record. I wouldn't be surprised at the views that Aodhán O'Riordan would express about President-elect Trump in the US. After all, he was echoing the media bias.
Can you just go back there for a second? Breaking the seal of confession, can you just elaborate?
Well, he said that for some offences that he deemed to be in the public interest or in the public domain, that a priest should break the seal of confession. I won't go into details precisely what items he said this, but this is what he said, along with a lot of other anti-Catholic and anti-Christian agendas. As a matter of fact, I think he would have been, as a former headmaster, I think he wanted the church, the Catholic Church, and perhaps the Church of Ireland to not be responsible for the running of schools as they have been down the centuries and from the foundation of the state, particularly since Catholics got the freedom to practice their religion in 1829 or wherever it was, not that long ago.
Given the negativity surrounding Trump and his election and his soon to come inauguration, what would you say to Trump?
Well, I'd say, thank God for Trump. It's not known that as he was going for the presidential election in the campaign, he had on board many Catholic advisors and priests and bishops. He listened to what they had to say, and he adopted a pro-life stance, which is against the ethos of the media and the pro-abortion lobby in the US. They are running scared, and Brexit in the UK is another example of them running scared. Their views and their agenda to try and destroy the Christian tradition has come unstuck, and they're using every ploy, including Russia and wherever else they can come up with, to throw stones. I hope they don't succeed.
Thanks very much, John.
Thank you very much.